Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorseys.
Hello, and welcome to yet another date with the Dorseys. This is your favorite host, Dr. Jatan and
Floyd Dorsey.
The four.
There we go.
Together we make Dim, Dorn, Dorsey.
One more time.
I said Dim, Dorn, Dorsey.
3 times.
Dim, Dorn, Dorsey.
There we go.
And as I just mentioned, you are back with us for yet another date with the Dorseys. And we've been talking, you know what, before I even say that, we got to give them the goods because, you know, some people trickle in. They just now finding out about
very
this
first
fabulous.
time.
Yes. So
Yeah, let's give it to them.
So if it's your first time tuning in, what we do is we talk about developing a fortune state of mind. And perhaps you already have a fortune state of mind. We just want to enhance it.
That's it.
You know, so it could be whatever place you're
Maybe
in.
a minor tune-up.
A minor tune-up. Okay,
it.
we're going to go with that. But you may be then asking, well, what is a fortune state of mind?
I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad you asked too. Because a fortune state of mind is developing yourself in a way that makes you holistic, well-rounded as an individual. So it's not just about money in the bank, although we all about
we
that
want
currency.
the money. Oh yeah, we want the money.
Although we are about that currency, right? So it's about things that are even beyond that. And how we build up on those topics is that we have 5 pillars that we refer to as the 5 F's that we not only implement in our household, but we also implement in these podcasts, right?
That's it.
And the 5 F's are family, fun, faith, finance, and fitness.
Gotta stay right.
Gotta stay fine. Keep it half family.
That's
So with that, again, our topics will be either a combination of those 5, one of those 5. You just never know how that concoction gonna come about.
That's it.
But today we are on our couple series. So that's what we will be talking about. And obviously couples will fall under family. So that's one of the 5 F's. So with that being said, we have some special guests with us today.
I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm so excited. So here we go. We're going to allow them to introduce themselves and then we will get right into this thing. So go right ahead, guests.
Go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. I'm Dr. Taaka Cash.
And I'm Todd. Here we go.
Yay!
All right.
So we got Todd and Taaka. We got the T and T.
TNT.
Yeah.
It's dynamite. All right.
About to explode up in this piece. Okay. Go
We'll
ahead.
jump right in.
Okay.
We have a few questions that we'll go over. And again, feel free to just speak truthfully, freely, and honestly for the people when they want to feel and connect with you. So the first question, we really want to get a little background on your relationship. So question number 1, how did you all meet?
In a grocery store. Over some salmon, actually. She wasn't even supposed to be in town. She was actually, it was a layover if I'm not mistaken. And she went to a grocery store with her friends. I just happened to be in the grocery store by myself, just kind of just hanging out. And went to the salmon section and she reached for some salmon, I reached for some salmon. It happened to be the same salmon. I wanted it more than she did.
Okay.
We exchanged numbers and we've been on the phone together ever since.
Oh,
Beautiful.
wow.
That is true.
So now that he said that, I want to hear your version.
Yes.
Right? So
It's always a different version.
that's always.
What he said, it was actually true, but I went with one of my friends and we were actually going salad shopping, so I wasn't even supposed to be on that side of town. I don't even live on that side of town. And she was just like, let's just go get, ingredients for salad and let's just get some salmon. I'm like, okay. So I, on that particular day, I didn't know that I would be meeting my future husband.
Okay.
I literally, before I left the house, I said, I shouldn't wear my Ugg boots. I shouldn't wear this. I shouldn't wear that. I actually should, put on some clothes,
Look presentable.
Look presentable. And so when I walked in there and I saw him, I was like, oh. But one piece that he missed is that he spotted me before I spotted him.
Okay.
So he spotted me from way over on the salad side, and he just so happens. So I believe he made his way to the salad.
Okay.
I bet he doesn't even eat salmon. He probably just said, you know what?
I was looking for the catfish. I was looking for the catfish.
She has salmon. I guess I like salmon now.
Okay, that's cool. So, as we continue into this, and we kind of opened up with what our Fortune State of Mind is all about, the podcast, our workshops, all that stuff is aligned with what we refer to as our 5 pillars, tenets, however you want to, receive that. But for you all, have you developed any core principles for your relationship? If so, what are those?
Share a couple with us.
Well, transparency. That's transparency with everything. Being a father of 2 kids prior to this relationship and having relationships with those women, you have to be transparent about the communication I'm having with them, with her. And so I want to make sure that there's no question, there's no sort of distrust or questioning what's going on between me and those women as far as the relationship I have with my children.
Yeah.
And probably transparency and just
The biggest one is communication. Communication would fall next. And I know Todd will tell you, he's very emotive, I'm very emotive, and when you have 2 strong personalities that are very emotive, somebody has to take a back seat to just say, okay, let me make sure that I repeat that I'm hearing exactly what you're saying so that I'm not misinterpreting what you're saying.
That's good.
Because a lot of the times what we found, especially early on in our relationship, is that he could be interpreting, something one way, I can be interpreting it a completely different way. And not only that, my demeanor is a little bit calmer in the household, and his is a little bit more assertive and more like he leads. He's a leader. And so a lot of the times, with him taking a forefront to that, he's more like, well, what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, well, I'm not really thinking nothing right now. So, but because he wants to make sure that we're both on the same page, he is continuously looking for making sure that he's being very attentive and aware of both of our communication styles, and I'm also feeding off of that.
That's good.
Just to piggyback on that, it's just amazing what we find is that people, when they develop their core tenets, their principles, always wonder, like, where did you get that from, right? So was it something for you, was it something you experienced as a child growing up and you said, oh yeah, I'm gonna build on that? Or in some cases you find that this didn't exist at all as a child, and that's something I know that I missed out on, so we wanted to incorporate that, develop that into our relationship. So for you all, it could be past experiences and relationships or whatever, but where did this come from you all, transparency and communication?
I think that started with my mom. My mom was a very communicative person. She would always be 100 with me, regardless, no matter what it was. If I got in trouble, what you did?
That's South Louisiana, right?
Yeah, what you did. It's not, my child is not innocent, my child is not innocent. But she will always explain to me about the, cause and effect, action and reaction, things that would happen if you done something right or you done something wrong, what to expect, and to always be honest. I think growing up with my mom and 3 sisters, 2 younger sisters, and just learning how to communicate. That's one thing a lot of times I found out that men, we have a hard time communicating, saying what we feel and what we think. And just watching them operate in the same household. If they're mad, they're gonna let you know they're mad. Yeah. Right. Trust me, I have to navigate those seas a lot.
Right.
But that's why I learned transparency and even communication.
I think for me, it started when I was younger. And so because my mom, my mom and my sisters, we were more on the, I guess, the more expressive end of things, being overtly passionate and missing the cues in between communication, causing more harm when you're communicating instead of causing good or looking for a resolution when you're communicating. So because of that, when I started establishing friendships, when I got to college, I was like, oh wait, this is how healthy people communicate? Wait, we're supposed to be calm, not yelling? Okay. And then once I started, in building a company, and when you're chief executive officer, you just can't go around being irate. I mean, some people choose to do that, but I could not do that. And so you learn how to operate around different personalities, different cultures. And so just being able to just go back into yourself and really do a constant evaluation of how you are being perceived, how others are perceiving you, and how you're being impactful when you are communicating.
That's good. So for those of you, again, who are tuning in, if you want to follow us, because I know you do at this point, and if you haven't, shame on you. I'll let you know where to follow us.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
We gotta get you right. So you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dem Darn Dorsey's. You can also email us at support@fortuneenterprise.com. And remember, Fortune is spelled IVTUNE.
TUNE.
Enterprise.com. We got to be creative about this thing, but we're not creative just for the heck of it. Dem Darn Dorsey's, date with the Dorseys, fortune, state of mind, all that has a meaning to it. It's always a meaning. It's always intentional. But as we continue this conversation with TNT, we are going to shift right into our next question. And that is, how do you value family? And intertwine into that, how you prioritize family as well.
Family is first for me. Everything that's family, then everything else. That's the way I grew up my whole entire life. I go right back to my childhood with my mother. My mother's relationship with her sisters, the relationship she had with her mother, the relationship I developed with my father's family. It was always family. You get together. We would for Mardi Gras. We always go to my grandmother's house.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. You know what I'm saying? Laissez le bon temps rouler.
That's it.
And then you would have Christmas, and you get together at my Nanny Poochie house. And
Shout out.
yeah, shout out to my Nanny Poochie, LaVon Gray, that MC Bank in Bayou Vista. And then that's just how I grew up. That's what I knew, and so it just became very important to me.
So Todd,
yes, ma'am.
when you mentioned your relationship with your mom,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know from that, how did that influence your relationship with the other T?
Well, with the other half of TNT, the better half, soon to be of TNT.
First, you got to tell them what your mama said you never did.
What you mean?
What you mean?
Seems like we're going somewhere on this.
No. I've never, ever told my mother I wanted to get married. But yes, the relationship with my mother and how I went with Taaka here, it was clear. Her strength, was recognizable from that point. Her sensitivity, her intelligence, quite obvious. Her beauty, it was all across the board. I've seen those things in my mother. But my mother raising me in the South, single mother for quite a while, it was recognizable. It don't take all day to recognize sunshine.
Oh, tweetable.
I was looking like.
So Taaka, I'm sure after all of that wooing, you probably forgot what the question was, but it is, how do you value family and how do you prioritize family?
I think that because I came from Greenwood, Mississippi, which is known as one of the most racist and hardest places to get out of in the South. And so my family, we were surviving. So I really truly didn't feel how to establish really the principles around a family until I got to college. And recognizing when my friends would invite me over to their family's house or to their family dinners or to their family functions, what that actually looked like. Because my sisters and my brother and my mom and my family, we were always in the survival mode. And so now that I will be building a potential family with Todd, and to see Todd's side of the family, and they're so integrative, and to know that, how he treats his mom, how he views his mother, how he sees his children, and how he sees me, that he prioritizes all of that. And for me, it's a constant learning curve when it comes to family dynamic, especially in different roles.
That's awesome. So you had different but similar experiences because I hear some commonalities as well.
Yeah.
So were you able to quickly identify those? I don't know if you want to share this, but you know how long you've been dating, or if you want to share that and kind of go into how you discovered that intertwining of
Family
experiences.
experiences.
Yeah.
I think it was evident from the beginning because Todd dated me the old-fashioned way. Till this day, and I'm gonna say this, Todd has never taken me out on a date because he told me that the only date that I need to be cognizant of is the day that he gets on his knees and proposes to me. And he is very old-fashioned, from putting letters in the mail just because, and having them, even though we're right there, mail them right to me.
Right.
Like he's very emotive. He's a writer. So because he's so expressive, what I found out in the beginning is that with him, he is going to put me first. That he is also going to intertwine his mom into that dynamic. Make sure that his children feel a sense of security and safety, not only with me, and I believe that's very important as well. And with me being the mom of an 18-year-old, well, I feel like I'm free right now, but it's like we're starting all the way back over again.
Beautiful.
And so it's like all of this is so encompassing because I've been a mom, and now he's been looking for a wife, and we're now trying to integrate those principles and making sure that we bring the children in seamlessly and not just like, bam, here go your new mom. You know? So it's definitely been a very beautiful ride, I must say, so far. And we've been dating, right now we're going on 9 months.
Nice. All right. So I do find it very, very interesting with different couples from backgrounds where some, hey, for family, for us, we just were there. This is all I know. This is just the experience. While others, I didn't have that. We were in survivor mode. To your point, and when you're in survivor mode, you do whatever it takes to survive. If that's scratching, clawing, loving, whatever it may be, it's an emotional roller coaster at times. But for you to be able to pick that up and for you to be able to embrace it and all those things coming together and making a beautiful union, I think is so compelling. So that's awesome.
Okay, so we are nearing the end, real close, of the conversational questions. So hadn't been too painful yet, right?
No.
Okay, good. Let's keep this thing going then. So you just explained or shared with the audience how long you've been dating. So technically we refer to you kind of as a young couple still, but we still have people that are even younger couples.
Right.
So what are some things that you would offer as advice for those who are entering into new relationships?
Honesty. From day one, honesty. Leave no card unturned.
Yeah.
You want to be upfront with everything. Fears, successes, failures, whatever it may be. Just be open with it. And if that person accepts you for your flaws or your non-flaws, and then you're good to go.
Todd, so where have you seen that demonstrated to work or not work in your experiences, right? So it's one or the other. You've seen it work, or
Yeah,
you've seen it
I've seen it work. I've seen it work because, of course, being 39, being on the dating scene, never been married, always the best man, never the groom.
You gotta be ready to catch that garter, man.
The knees don't work like they used to.
Okay.
Try to get up. No, but honestly, that's what I've had my mistakes in relationships.
Okay.
And it's been trial and error.
That's it.
Then I made a decision. Say, you know what? No more games. No more. I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
The winters get real cold. And Valentine's Day, you walking around on the beach, just looking around, just thinking about your life. No, honestly, it was just the experience of growing.
Yeah. So thank you, Todd. That's good advice for young couples. So Taaka, what would you share with a young couple?
What advice?
As far as, getting them on board and on track right away.
I think Todd said something that was very important. We're a 39-year-old couple embarking on 40. And so when you're in your 20s, you have so much fun and you think you're invincible. Then you hit your 30s and then you get towards the end of your 30s, you're like, hold up, wait a minute.
Where did the time go?
Where did the time go? And then it's not like I'm turning 40, it's like I'm turning 50, you know, and so you're like, wow, this is the next phase of my life. How do I want that to look? So for especially me, I think the advice for new couples is really just being understanding for someone that's our age. That you're not, it's going to be rare that you find someone who doesn't have children, someone who doesn't have, I wouldn't necessarily consider it baggage, it's actually an add-on for us. And it's challenging, it's like new obstacles, new things, and just being understanding to your partner that guess what, even though I now am self-identified as a new single black woman with an 18-year-old, I can go out there and be like, woo, but no, I'm a relationship person, and I know that by nature. And so with Todd bringing in 2 children under the age of 18, I have to be understanding to that and recognize that guess what, this is going to be another additional role aside from the role that I'm going to have with him, his mom, his sisters, and his family.
It's beautiful.
Right.
It's beautiful. All right, last question before the lightning round.
Okay.
All right, it's building on the question that we just asked.
Okay.
So if you were to project out, let's say 30 years from now, so you both are approaching 40, so now we're just saying that now you're 70, right?
Right.
Your 70-year-old self is looking back to your 40-year-old self now. What advice would your 70-year-old self give to your 40-year-old self?
Do it now. Do it now. And Todd knows that I say that all the time. Time waits for no one. And being that, and this is something that we found in common, I had cancer when I was younger. I was a teenager, and his father passed away from cancer. So it wasn't that your mom was a single mom, she was a widow. And so that's the commonality. And what Todd has expressed to me in the past is that, you know, he was hesitant to do a lot of things because he was scared to turn, he was scared that he would not turn 42. And so now that he's with me, he's like, oh wow, I can't go out of town. I can, you know, fly in a helicopter over Grand Canyon. I can do, you know, all of these things instead of just waiting, because time waits for no one.
Right.
And so I would tell anyone, if I was, you know, 70 looking back on myself, do things right now while you can.
Amazing.
Yeah, don't be afraid to live life. You know, because life is a beautiful thing when you experience it. My favorite saying is to say, life is a journey worth taking. So that's what it is.
We're taking it.
We take it.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Beautiful. All right, so these talks, or this piece that you just stated, we're going to say that for 30 years, so that when you're actually 70, you can listen back.
That works.
Okay, so we are going to shift into the lightning round, but again, remember you can follow us at Them Darn Dorseys on Facebook and Instagram. And then also email us at support@fortuneenterprise.com. Enterprise is spelled IVTUNE, enterprise.com. So, as we hit this lightning round, remember, we are going to ask you a few questions. Both of you will provide answers. One word or a couple words, just phrases real quick.
Be quick.
Yes. So, first one. Who is the best arguer?
Me.
You agree?
Todd.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
I don't think we have one.
I don't think we do. We don't.
We don't have one.
Okay, y'all agree, so we'll take that as an answer.
Uh-huh.
Who makes the worst faces?
Todd.
Me.
Oh,
Definitely.
good.
I got the crunchy eyebrow thing.
Now, if you had a house phone, maybe you do, who would be the first one to answer the phone?
I would.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Who's the happiest?
I am.
Yeah, she is. Definitely.
Who's the most talkative?
Todd.
That's me.
Who cries the most?
I do.
Yeah, because you'll cry watching something on TV.
Call you out.
A TV crier. Okay, all right. Who's the
It's so
best?
sad.
Steve Harvey.
All right. Couple more. Who's the best cook?
I am.
It depends.
Depending on what we're talking about.
Depending on what we're talking about. She's
Okay.
definitely a great cook.
Okay.
Awesome. If driving a long distance, who's driving? Who's doing the driving?
Me.
Todd.
Me.
Boom. You survived the lightning round. Amazing. All right, so we really appreciate it. Now we're going to let the closeout queen do her
Queen,
work.
here she
Let's
comes.
do your thing.
So again, this is the closeout queen coming to you in, what is it, 2020. So we are shutting down this episode of the couples series. Again, this was tied to family, one of our 5 F's. And we hope you enjoyed it. We are looking forward to hearing back from you. So make sure that you like, love, share, download, all that good stuff on the episode and any previous episodes as well. Because we'd love to have you continue to follow us and support our podcast. So again, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dem Dorn Dorseys. Email us any ideas that you'd love to hear us chat about, or just give us some love via email, support@fortuneenterprise.com. So with that being said, TNT, thank y'all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this thing.
Yes, we appreciate you.
So we're going to close it out, and we will look forward to you all joining us for the next episode. Bye for now.
Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorseys.